Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the March 2025 Tri-County Sustainability General Meeting. We are a hub of 101 towns and 10 legislative branches of districts and 101.2 million residents of Burlington, Camden, and Gloucester counties. My name is Valerie Brown. I'm from the Voorhees Township, and I'm part of the TCS leadership team. In my day job, I'm the program coordinator for the Camden County Office of Sustainability. I help manage the Camden County Certified Gardeners, and I'm also a board supervisor for the Camden County Soil Conservation District. Before we get started, a few quick reminders. First, please, everyone, put your name, town, and county in the chat. We have an exciting program tonight, great guests, and important topics. Let's get started. In the leadoff spot, we have Ben Sarkako, if I didn't pronounce it right, from Camden Clean Air, and to give us a quick update on where things stand after the EMR 4 alarm fire last month. Ben?
Hi, thanks for the introduction. I live in Camden, New Jersey. I'm a member of the Cooper Grant Neighborhood Association. I also volunteer with Camden for Clean Air and other environmental groups in the city. Just as a quick background, I'll try and just keep this to 5 minutes or so. For those not familiar, what EMR is, it's a company, international company called Eastern Metal Recycling. It moved to Camden several years ago and actually received $253 million in NJEDA tax credits to set up and expand in the city of Camden. It's a little confusing in what they do in the city because they have multiple different sites. But in short, I'll try and list them off really quick. Anyone that's done scrap, turned in scrap for money, they have a retail scrap location where you can drive up and drop off scrap metal and get compensated for it. But the majority of their operations is vehicle end-of-life recycling. So they have another company called My Auto Store. Essentially, when they get junk cars, they strip off any reusable part, and resell it for money, which is good. That's My Auto Store. After they take every part of value off of that vehicle, it goes into this new mega shredder facility, which it's a huge, if you ever drive down 676, you'll see their neon green crane hand lifting up huge pieces of metal and pieces of cars. And it grinds these cars up and separates it into ferrous and non-ferrous metals and sends them out to be recycled. Sometimes they use barges. If folks remember from a year ago, that barge that caught on fire in the middle of the Delaware Bay, where they had to send the FDNY fireboat from New York City to put it out, that was from EMR. So after they take all of this metal of value and ship it out and sell it, they're left with pieces of plastic, foam, mercury that's inside old switches, really nasty stuff. And that gets ground up and turned into things called automotive shredder residue, also known as automotive fluff. The previous fire to the most recent one, it was actually their fluff piles, which are right on the Delaware River. And actually the material falls into the Delaware River and leaches into the Delaware River. Those were the previous, well, maybe I can't keep track, maybe 2 or 3 fires ago, but it was one of the most major fires before the most recent one in February. Automotive fluff residue is considered hazardous waste in some states. It's really nasty stuff when it burns. It can also, just like mulch piles, it kind of looks like mulch. It can kind of combust on its own as it breaks down and generates heat and biodegrades. But anyway, that's an overview of what their operations are. Again, recycling is good. It's a good thing. I think we all support recycling, but you got to do it in a safe and environmentally friendly way. I think most would agree with that. So the most recent fire, it was in February. I think many folks probably saw the plumes or smelled it. The wind was blowing pretty strongly. The prevailing wind typically blows from west to east across from Camden down into places like Oakland and Collingswood and Haddonfield and surrounding areas. It burned for, I believe it burned for about 18 hours or more. It was about 2 stories high. It was a multiple alarm fire, and unfortunately, when first responders first arrived, and we have other members that, I'll tip my hat to David Steinberg. He picked up the fire incident report. We learned that unfortunately, the EMR actually worked to help spread the fire instead of put it out, according to first responders that got there. And this was the second or third time that these types of fires caused the entire evacuation of major neighborhoods in Camden, including Waterfront South, which is a historic environmental justice neighborhood. So what's going on now? There's been a lot of things going on. There's been local protests. There's been folks showing up to city council meetings, reaching out to county commissioners, to state legislators, to the EPA, and really calling for greater regulation at a city, state, and federal level on how these types of facilities can operate. This isn't as sad as it's been. This is the sixth or more fire just at this facility in Camden, but it's not the only type of fire that these types of facilities have. There's been other ones in northern New Jersey, across the river in Philadelphia. It's really a serious public health and safety issue in addition to being an environmental issue. So what else? So locally in Camden, there was actually a city municipal ordinance passed asking for greater regulation of lithium-ion batteries. I agree, and many others agree, that lithium-ion batteries, when they go through these shredders and get mixed into the waste stream, can contribute to these fires. But my personal opinion is I would advise folks not to immediately jump to that conclusion before a full investigation has been conducted. We've found that many times these operations are very quick to jump to blaming a lithium-ion battery. And regardless of whether it's a lithium-ion battery or not, we still believe that these scrap facility operators have a responsibility to remove them from the waste stream. It's not like, oh, throw our hands up in the air. These places just have to light on fire and evacuate entire neighborhoods every year or more because these lithium-ion batteries exist. I don't think that's a logical or fair answer. So in Camden City, there's a bill to try and target just the lithium-ion batteries, which many folks feel is not really addressing all the issues that could be done. There's really I know some folks probably on this call received like an automated text message. So something we learned is that, in Camden and Gloucester and probably Burlington as well, I know this is true for Camden. I don't want to say this is true for Burlington and Gloucester when I'm not positive. Not all municipalities have like that Nixle automated text alert system. So that if there's like a tornado or, a gas leak or, like a huge industrial fire, not all folks get automated text messages. So Camden City doesn't have that, sadly, even though we have all of these different types of industry operating. So just number one, we just need better alert systems to both Camden and surrounding Camden County municipalities. In addition to that, we just really need better regulation and oversight of these facilities. Unfortunately, we love the NJDEP. We all appreciate the work they do, but during this fire in Camden, they actually have one of their stationary air monitoring sites right at the Camden County Municipal Utilities Authority. And the data feed went down from it during 3 hours of the fire. It actually spiked so high that it thought it was an error because the smoke was so thick, and it stopped reporting. And NJDEP actually didn't have mobile air monitoring for folks to take during the site. They were off being calibrated, so there was a delay in getting those from the EPA. Additionally, an important fact that really could have made this disaster national or maybe even international disaster. The Camden County Municipal Utilities Authority, anytime you flush the toilet anywhere in Camden County, it goes to this facility to be processed. One of the leaders of that group for Camden County reported that there was huge metal shrapnel, 80 or 90-pound pieces of metal flying from explosions from this fire right across the property line, which is the Camden County Municipal Utilities Authority. Very close by to that is actually an electrical transformer that operates the entire waste processing for all of Camden County. If that had been damaged and gone offline, thousands or more gallons of pure sewage would have backed up into streets, into homes, and then immediately had to be overloaded directly into the Delaware River, which would have been truly a catastrophe if that happened. So sadly, if you drive by 676 right now, almost very shortly, just days after this fire happened, they somehow just started operating again. It's operating again right now. There hasn't been any real additional safeguards, to my knowledge, put in place. This company, they do hire Camden residents. That's a great thing. But they don't treat their employees safely either. They were fined over $1 million by OSHA in 2022. They settled and only paid $800,000. for serious safety violations on how they actually operate on their properties. So I'll try and wrap it up there. Some breaking news from just today, and if we have folks that are skilled at interpreting and reading statewide ordinances and legislations, all of these bills were just introduced today or yesterday in either the New Jersey State Assembly or the Senate. There's a bill that requires receipt and for purchase of scrap metals containing batteries. There's one requiring businesses that violate, this is a big one, businesses that violate state environmental laws to forfeit economic development subsidies under certain so being able to claw back millions of dollars from companies if they're given that money and they don't operate cleanly, potentially to have some of that clawed back. And then another one requiring facilities that store or process that automotive shredder residue, that automotive fluff, to obtain a DEP permit for hazardous waste and classify that as hazardous waste. And then another one on lithium-ion batteries. So
that's a lot. I think what we're gonna have to do is have you come back on and
sure.
update us more and all that.
Yeah, I got everything I wanted out. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, and we'll definitely have to come back on and update us more. Thank you for staying on top of that. It's really important information. Thanks, Ben. So switching gears, Earth Month is almost here. Time to start thinking about our gardens and landscaping. Let's bring a warm welcome to our native plant expert, Mike Jacobs, from the New Jersey New Jersey. I can't even talk. I'm sorry, my screen just went down. Native Plant Society of New Jersey to tell us about South Jersey's flora and ecosystems. Hey, Mike, welcome.
Hi, thank you. Let me share my screen. There we go. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I'm Mike Jacob. I'm the co-leader of the Southwest chapter of the Native Plant Society. We cover Burlington, Camden, and Gloucester counties. Also corresponding secretary. What we do, the Native Plant Society, is we're a statewide organization dedicated to the appreciation, protection, and study of the native flora of New Jersey. We're founded in 1985. We recently had our 40th anniversary. We now have over 1,500 members, and we have 15 statewide chapters that do local events. And, you know, people from all walks of life. We got master gardeners, we got amateurs, we got professionals. Chapters are from Sussex in the north to Cape May in the south. We have small local meetings. We have local speakers, field trips, hikes, garden tours. Like I'll be on the Marlton garden tour myself in June. Plant sales and swaps. And we have the chapters have their own Zoom meetings, and then we have the statewide webinars. Our website, social media, we have our website, npsnj.org, where we have announcements, new announcements, all our webinars that are recorded. You can access them through the website. They're also on YouTube channel. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. And if you join, or even if you don't join, if you just sign up for email newsletters, we send them out through Constant Contact. Our webinars statewide are monthly on the second Wednesday of the month. We just take like July and August off. We have local, regional, and national speakers. I mean, one of the few benefits of COVID is that Zoom became a thing, and we can now have speakers from all over the country. Most of them are recorded and available on the website or the YouTube channel here. Just search for Native Plant Society of New Jersey. We also have a spring and a fall conference. The spring conference is in person, where we have speakers, vendors. Sometimes there's plant sales. They're fun events. The fall conference is all on Zoom. We usually have 3 or 4 speakers. And the Zoom conference is free, as are all the monthly webinars. A A lot of the other things we do for outreach, we do mini grants, which are $500 to $750 grants to put in pollinator gardens. They have to be in a public space, a church, a school, a community building. But this year we gave out $16,500 over 20 grants. We also give some grants to research, to research rare plant collection, rare plant propagation. We do tabling. One of the new things we've done lately since the last time I spoke here is we have the Independent Garden Center Pollinator Days, where we're working with local, not chains, not Lowe's or Home Depot, but we work with the local independent garden centers to carry native plants. And we're having great success with that. And a lot of them they tell us people come and ask for native plants. So enough people have asked that they're started to carry them. And they're even starting to carry straight species because they're, not everybody's crazy about cultivars. But that's a whole separate topic. The other thing we've really been getting into is legislative advocacy. So we've had people testify in Trenton on behalf of like the invasive species bill and things like that. So we now send out alerts to our membership when bills are coming up. We just had the vote on Monday for the invasive species bill passed the Senate. Of course, now it's got to go to the Assembly. We did a booth at the New Jersey Nursery and Landscape Association conference last year. We were invited last year to Bug Fest at the Academy of Natural Sciences in Philly. So we're getting the word out everywhere about native plants. Why do we want native plants? So the native plants have evolved with the local soil climate, although of course the climate is slowly changing. But in general, native plants would need less water. They really don't need fertilizer. They're acclimated to what's in the soil. You don't want to put pesticides because you actually want caterpillars to eat your plant. Caterpillars are natural bird food. And the adult birds, even when they're done with the nestlings, they still eat, insects, fruits, nuts, berries, and lots of insects. Interesting thing is that, because of the climate, some trees like maples are moving further north, and the winters are actually too mild for them. And then magnolias from the south are becoming more and more hardy here as the winters warm. So there's actually people that say we shouldn't plant the natives for our zone. We should plant the natives for a couple zones south, because 20 years from now, that'll be our zone as things warm. Not everybody's on board with that, but it's really, people think it's not real, but it's real. Many butterfly and moth species, the larvae, the caterpillars, they only feed on one species of native plant. And everybody knows about the monarch, needs milkweed, but there's a lot like that. There's a spice bush swallowtail that really needs the spice bush tree. And what they found, Doug Ptolemy and his student Desiree Narango did a study, and they compared, say, an oak up here in the upper left with the notorious calorie pear down at the bottom. And just this individual study showed 400 caterpillars of 19 species on the oak, one caterpillar on the calorie. And they've determined that the oak, which they call a keystone species, supports over 400 different moth and butterfly species. And, you may say, like, well, why do I want all these moth caterpillars eating my tree? And like I said, that's what feeds the birds. and the birds provide other services, and it's a whole cycle of life. And when you're everything in your yard is non-native, you say you wonder like, how come there's less birds? Like, well, there's nothing for them to eat. You say, where are the fireflies gone? Well, the fireflies, they live in the leaf litter underneath the native trees. So there's a whole thing going on there. And whereas the monarchs do their migration to Mexico, most species don't do that. Most of those moths and butterfly caterpillars up in that oak, they will go into that chrysalis form, which is the pupa, and they will drop to the ground and just burrow into the leaf litter. And they will overwinter there and then emerge in the spring. So if you get out the leaf blower and blow all those leaves away, and if you grow grass right up to the tree trunk, it's nice that you have an oak that supports 400 species, but most of them will drop to the ground and die because they can't get through the hard soil that the grass is growing in. Which brings us to soft landings, and you've probably heard people talk about leave the leaves for that specific purpose, that these pupa drop down to the ground and they need to overwinter in that leaf litter. So even if you say you have grass and the leaves fall on the grass, at least rake them up and move them to flower beds because they're natural mulch. But don't suck them up with the leaf shredder vacuum, because if you use that, then any of those caterpillar pupa that are in there, they're just going to get chopped up by the vacuum shredder. So it's okay to rake them, but don't vacuum them up. One of the things you can do is reduce the lawn. This is from my yard. It was just, there's a nice oak here, but then everything else was just this grass. So I just put in a little retaining wall and planted it up. And this is still from a few years ago. Now it's very lush and thick, and there's all kind of things blooming in there and all kind of butterflies and bees. Down here on the left is a rain garden that I put in. That's something you can do if you have a soggy area. One use of the rain garden is to just capture the rainfall from your rain gutters and hold it and let it sink into the soil rather than wash straight down to the road and go down the storm drain. But even if you have an area like mine that's like it's just soggy because it's the swale between the houses, plant things that like it soggy, like the blue flag iris and buttonbush. There's a lot of plants that are tolerant or even desire a moist, soggy ground. I put in a pond, and the first year I got frogs that I had never seen before in my yard. I don't know how they got there, but the wildlife will find it. And make your backyard a woodland, like down here on the right. It's really cool to, when people come and visit my yard, they'll come like, wow, you've got so many birds, and it's like, yeah, because there's all kind of places for them to roost and to feed and to, find caterpillars. These trees are full of caterpillars. You may never see them because they're very skilled at camouflage, but the birds can find them. And it's not only about the pollinators. I have all kind of wildlife in my yard. Of course, everybody has squirrels, but I have raccoons, skunks, possums. I had a fox earlier this week. And so that's the thing. If you plant densely with lots of ground covers and shrubs and trees that have multiple layers, there'll be all kind of things living in your yard. And they're very beneficial. Some of the things like the possums, they eat ticks. There's also like some things like mice, they transmit the the organism for the what is it? The what the deer ticks have.
Lyme
Lyme
disease?
disease, Lyme disease. So like the mice transmit it. But it's been pointed out that some of these other animals, the ticks will, go and feed off these animals, but the bacteria can't live in all of these animals. Some of them, the blood kills it. So if all you have is mice and deer, they're just cycling the Lyme disease back and forth between them. But if you have other wildlife that the ticks go to, it's a dead end for the bacteria. So it's good to have a diversity of, wildlife. So again, Native Plant Society, membership's only $25 a year, but you don't even have to be a member to take advantage of a lot of our webinars, all our social media, newsletters. Like I say, if you are a member, you can apply for some of these grants. We give them out at the beginning of the year. And we have the 15 chapters throughout the state having local activities. So any questions?
Well, right now, we don't have a lot of time for questions, but definitely put them in the chat, or maybe at the end, we can have some questions, but that was great. Native Plant Society does amazing work, and they're an amazing resource for everybody. So thanks, Mike. That's really awesome.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yep. So next, we're going to have a quick update from Lawrence Gronsky from Sustainable Jersey with some breaking news.
Hi, everybody. Let me see if I can get okay. I'm in the car. I pulled over. Apologies for the unprofessionalism of it. But I just wanted to let everybody know that we are doing a webinar, Sustainable Jersey, that is on a really important topic. So some of you might already have heard about prices for electricity are going to be rising come June. A pretty significant increase of, it's expecting to be upwards of 30% for businesses and similarly for residents. It's a complicated situation, but basically it boils down to there was a bad capacity auction for energy capacity at the regional level, and our regional purchasing manager, PJM, didn't fare so well. So prices increased by 833%. And the increase is basically going to affect residential and commercial consumers. And so it's not great news. The state is working to try to help address the issue. But Sustainable Jersey and others are working to make sure that, the effects don't hit residents and businesses as hard as they would otherwise. So basically, we want to prepare municipalities and green teams because you might be getting a lot of pushback from people on, the price increases, because we've been spending a lot of energy and a lot of time, and I know you all have too, on pushing electrification, right? EVs, they're the wave of the future. They're going to help the world, electrifying your home and businesses and, for decarbonization purposes. And the important point is we need to keep pushing forward, even in the face of these price increases, because there's things you can do to offset the price increases, right? So the messaging needs to instead not electrification as bad, but more, get your electricity from renewable sources. So pushing solar and other, renewable energy sources. And then also energy efficiency measures, right? So just don't use the energy and electricity in the first place. So, there's a lot that municipalities can do to sort of change that messaging. We're going to be doing a webinar on April 15th. I'll put a link in the chat. We hope you register. We hope you share this with your business administrator and elected officials, because they're going to be hearing from people, especially if you've been involved in a town that has, been doing energy efficiency outreach and pushing electric vehicles and things like that. So we want to prepare you all. So I wanted to let you know about that. I'll put a link to register in the chat and hopefully we see you all there.
Thank you, Lauren. That's so important. And thanks for doing the webinar. That will really help everyone. It's going to be a sticker shock, but thanks for the update. Looking forward to the webinar.
Thank you.
Yep. Another breaking news update from Cheryl from Anjac.
Hi, everyone. I'm Cheryl Reardon from Anjac, and we're looking for volunteers to help plant a rain garden with all native vegetation in Gibbsboro on April the 17th. It's Thursday, the day before Good Friday. So the plants are going to be delivered at about 8 a.m. We need help unloading the truck too. It's a large rain garden. It's about 1,500 square feet. So we have over 500 plants going in. So if you can be there at 8 to help unload, and we plan to start planting at about 9 a.m., finish up by 1:30, and it's on Driftwood Way in the Hidden Woods section of Gibbsboro. My phone number is 609-313-5517, or you can email me at creardon, REARDON, @anjac.org. That's all in the chat. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Cheryl. Great job. It's a lot of plants. Okay, now let's bring in TCS, sorry, Shade Tree Committee Chair, Bobby Hastings, to introduce our next guest. Hi, Bobby.
Hi, Valerie. Thanks. Our next guest. Just a quick reminder, our next Tri-County Sustainability Shade Tree meeting is scheduled for April 23rd at 7 p.m. And now I want to bring to the stage Tyler Savage from the Soil Conservation District to tell us about support available to our town's forestry plans. Tyler, are you out there?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me tonight. My name is Tyler Savage. I am the Community Forestry Technician at Cape Atlanta Conservation District. So just to kind of begin, I want to give you a little bit of a background on the district. 1937 soil conservation districts were instituted into New Jersey. Since that time, the district's name has changed quite a bit. Districts have kind of grown. It's grown in its programs. It is currently called the Cape Atlanta Conservation District, as I mentioned. But some exciting news is that we are actually merging with Camden County. So this will be an exciting kind of advancement for the district, which is one of the reasons why I'm here talking to you all tonight. So as I mentioned, soils were kind of a big part and still remain a big part of our programs at the district. But as I mentioned, our programs have grown, and that includes forestry. So the forestry department at Cape Atlantic is currently in its capacity building state. In the department, we have John Hooven, who is our forester, and then we have me, who is the community forestry technician. And our goal right now is to be providing technical assistance for landowners and municipalities for the forestry related matters. So some of the services that we are able to provide at the district includes forest management and stewardship plans. This is generally John's kind of forte, and this is usually concerns private kind of forests, but can also be included when we're talking about community forestry. If we're talking about areas that are large enough in the community, like parks and things like that. But the thing that, I'm kind of here to talk about tonight is community forestry management plans. So whether your municipality has never had a community forestry management plan or is looking to renew their plan or needs help during the accreditation process for the New Jersey Community Urban Forestry Program with New Jersey DEP, these are all things that, the district is able to help out with. And something else that's kind of exciting, I did mention more capacity building. We are looking to kind of get into possibly helping out with other initiatives, including like heat island assessments. So, helping in that realm is something that we're kind of looking at as well. So really exciting stuff. Now, in terms of community forestry management plans, maybe some of you are like, what is a community forestry management plan? Technically, these are guides that are for managing community forestry resources, and it makes sure that your community forest is safe, healthy, and sustainable. So when we have municipalities that are working towards the goals outlined in their management plans, we see things like decreased hazard tree issues, decreased tree maintenance and removal costs for trees. We see increases in tree benefits, which I'm sure we're all aware of, the many, many benefits that trees provide for our communities. And a big one is it actually provides liability protection under the New Jersey Shade Tree and Community Forestry Act. So those are all some really big benefits of why a municipality might want to have a community forestry management plan. In terms of accreditation and how do you become accredited by the Urban Community Forestry Program, there's a few things that a municipality needs. They need to have a management plan. They need to have two individuals that have undergone core training. This is usually a volunteer and a municipal employee. They need to have annual CEUs that are done. This is 8 CEUs among any number of individuals, which is pretty cool. And then there's an annual accomplishment report, which is it's usually due in February, but that'll make sure that the community is staying on track for their goals. I've seen a couple changes for communities that have plans and that may be expiring soon or kind of predate 2024. In January 2024, a few changes have been made moving forward for plans. So that just includes having plans required to have tree inventories, more detailed, and describe a section describing the tree inventory. And essentially, this is like new data fields and things like that for the tree inventory. There also are mapping requirements, so taking a look at a lot of different things of your community. So things like overburdened community areas or land cover and land use change over time. All of these things kind of go into these plans because they're very personalized for your community's forest resources. And then there's also a plan implementation description that goes into the new requirements as well. So I did mention the inventory. These, I want to emphasize that communities don't be, ideally, like we want to see complete inventories. That's really great. But don't be discouraged if, these can be done on a case-by-case basis and determined by resources that are available. So inventories can be sample-based, partial, or complete inventories. So all these options are really great and accessible for communities. So I did mention that there's a couple different ways for plan implementation in the new kind of requirements. So it just again kind of outlines the goals of communities and in their management goals more specifically. So it'll outline the elements and the components of their forest. It will outline their objectives and will give milestones to kind of achieve. And it'll also give measurable actions and again, have that kind of activity schedule to kind of stay on track, which is really, really great. Now, I do want to just kind of touch on funding really quickly. So there's a Green Communities grant. This is a reimbursement grant by New Jersey Community Urban Forestry Program, New Jersey DEP. And this is essentially where the funds would be done or would be where the funds would come from to kind of fund the work done by the district, excuse me. And this is through New Jersey DEP SAGE portal. It's a rolling deadline. The money is available. There's kind of two different ways that a municipality can go about getting this funding, whether that's through funding for just writing the plan, which would be $5,000 and a 25% match, or an inventory included with the plan being written, that would be $20,000 in total plus a 25% match. And those matches can be done by in-kind services, so that's really awesome as well. So it's not just kind of money, but volunteer efforts, municipal hours, things like that. And the last thing I just want to kind of to touch on was that, it also covers a sustainable Jersey action. So just simply doing one of these plans for your municipality, it is already kind of included in that sustainable Jersey community forestry management plan and New Jersey urban community forest accreditation action item. A lot of words. But there are 10 points for municipalities that are newly approved, have a newly approved plan, and they meet their training requirements. And then there's 20 points for if your municipality is accredited by the Urban Community Forestry Program. So yeah, I just think that these are things that are kind of important to keep in mind. I wanted to just say, like, if anybody is interested in learning more about the district services or seeing if the district is able to serve your municipality, please feel free to reach out. My email is tylersavage@capeatlantic.org. And yeah, feel free to reach out with any questions. Thank you so much for your time.
Great information, Tyler. Thank you so much. It's great to know that's a resource for Camden County as well.
Yeah, thank you so
Good
much.
job. Thanks. So next, community gardens benefit our towns in so many ways, including access to healthy foods, enhanced community pride, and much more. Plus, Sustainable Jersey gives certification points for community gardens. Now, let's highlight some of the great work in our local community gardens by bringing in we have two folks, one Jackie from Camden, and we also have Stephanie from Barclay. So Jackie, you want to lead off?
Hi, Valerie. Thank you for having me. And hello, group. How is everyone doing? I am going to be brief. I want to make sure that I'm respecting everybody's time. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Okay. So we are a Camden-based community garden. We are known as Neighborhood Collaborative Community Gardens. And most recently, we're going to be doing business as Camden Urban Agriculture Collaborative. As many of y'all knows, this name has been synonymous with what we do since 2017. So we're trying to make a more strategic approach to when we're applying for grants. I think that we've missed a couple of grants because we're not really focused on the Camden aspect of what we do. So our community garden is run by a bunch of teenagers. I take the back seat, and I have college students and teenagers who actually run the program. I have program coordinators, media directors, a bunch of students that all do different types of jobs that are all trained by myself and other key staff members. So why do I have the youth doing all this work? Well, it's kind of, no, because, they are our future leaders. And what I found that is that when I remove barriers where students understand that it's okay to understand where our food comes from, what are the environmental issues that are we facing here in Camden, and how can they address them? Surprisingly enough, they take the lead. So they do a lot of things that are just not just gardening. We do gardening from A to Z. We make our own compost. Then those students give that compost to our worms. We have about 100 hundreds of worms and grubs, and they feed all the compost to them, and then they collect the frass and they collect the castings, they sort it all out, and they sell it at farmers markets. They also do books. You can see here on one of our students, they storyboard a bunch of books and draw the illustrations and do the and even bind them. So what they do is they create books that are very familiar to environmental issues that are found in Camden, somewhat to what just Ben spoke to not too long ago with the EMR fires. They received a lot of grant funding that to be able to give out these books for free into the community. I'm more than happy to pass them out for free for anybody who's interested. Just let me know. If you're interested, let Valerie know, and I'll definitely email them to you. You can pass them out in your classrooms. They're on book 5 now. They're finishing off the Urban Heat Island book that talks about air quality. In addition to that, because the work is so great, they've been featured in the Camden Discovery Education for Urban Heat Islands, and they also came out in a documentary about Camden. And again, I'm going really fast, but I'm trying to respect everybody's time. We do a lot of STEM projects. So I have 4 students that are certified in STEM teen issues, where they go to Rutgers University and they stay there for a week and they actually take college-based courses. So this is the first year that we're back at Rutgers New Brunswick site after 10 years, and we are bringing a new set of 10 students this year. We also do a lot of community work. You'll find us through through March, April, and May, where we're installing new gardens or updating the gardens that we already have. And then we also do a lot of community initiative events. We're going to go into our 9th year. I can't believe that we've been doing this for 9 years. We do a educational harvest fest that the students showcase all the things that they learned throughout the year. We give out produce that actually from local farmers, or other educational things from other leaders that we work with together. At the end of the year, we would do one big celebratory things called Winter Wonderland. They also decorate all of these garden spaces. Mind you, none of these garden spaces belong to us. We just maintain them clean. At the current time, we have about anywhere from 25 to 30 lots that we manage throughout Camden. And all of the students, whether they're college interns or high school interns, they help to take care of these. All of my students are paid through grant-funded program and or sustainable efforts that we do ourselves. On that note, they just started this year making their own potting soil mix. So if anybody wants your own very own made potting soil by my students, where they use all the sustainable methods, please let us know. We can definitely have some delivered to everyone. Like I said, I don't want to belabor, some of the stuff they do, because we do a lot. We also work with Camden County certified gardeners with Angela and Valerie, and we're just trying to have more of a holistic approach where we're working together, and for the benefit of everyone, not just one community. That's what I do. Like I said, I'm teaching young people to be leaders. I really do take the back seat for many of these projects. So unfortunately, my program coordinator is in class right now, so she couldn't come speak. So that's why I'm here. I think that's it. And if anybody wants any more information, I put my information in the chat, or you can reach out to Valerie, and I'm more than happy to provide you some insight of what we do.
All I could say is, wow, that's amazing. That's what I just want to capture your energy. That's amazing. Everything you're doing is so awesome. You're teaching the youth, which is so important.
Yeah.
So now I also want to change a little bit gears. So we have Stephanie on here from Barclay, which is more of your traditional community garden, where you actually, residents can come to use and to partake in the community gardens. Steph, you're on. If you just want to tell us about Barclays.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure. Jacqueline, that was awesome. I was just listening to everything you said and applauding you wholeheartedly. Your connectivity to your kids, amazing. We at Barclay Farmstead try to do something similar. In addition to building a community garden, what we really try to focus on, actually what I try to focus on, is building community. And especially in these times, making friends with people all over the world, as far as where the people that garden at our gardens come from, is really an awesome thing. A little bit of history about Barclay Farmstead. It was built, the actual farmstead, and the house that sits at top of it was built in 1816. It was passed through the families of the Cooper families, famous for Cooper's Ferry, and also they were originally the founders of Camden City. And one of the daughters, many generations later, Ellen Cooper Barclay, raised her family at that house. And then in the 1950s, she sold a portion of that house, not of the house, she sold a portion of the all the land to Bob Scarborough, the builder. And he built the Barclay Farms development that you see in Cherry Hill. But part of it in 1974 was bought by Cherry Hill Township, and Cherry Hill Township now has not only the house, which is an historic museum, which they have tours for school children and others, where they have a living history museum where people dress up in colonial garb and teach the kids about homesteading. There's also a medicinal garden there. There is a corn drying shed, and also an ironsmith. So people can get a feeling for those times. But the actual gentleman's farm was turned into a community garden in 1974, and Cherry Hill Township has been running that garden. The township itself are the managers of the garden, but excuse me, recently we developed a committee, and the committee is a committee of tenders that wanted to have more responsibility and more interaction with the garden and the gardeners. So we now have a committee of about 12 people that are liaisons between the gardeners, the tenders, and the township. And we do lots of wonderful things. We have one of the largest gardens, community gardens in New Jersey. We have 159 plots that are 24 feet by 24 feet. And then we also have 6 plots that are probably double that size as well. Also on the property, there is a playground for children, and there's also beautiful trails that are wooded that you can hike on with a beautiful pond. And it's a lovely place to go and spend a morning or an afternoon with your family. In the summertime, on Tuesdays in July, they have a wonderful Tuesday night musical concerts, and people bring their families, and they bring dinner, and there's food trucks and there's beer trucks, and it's really a wonderful time. And the gardeners stay late those nights, and they talk to people about community gardening. We are really involved in doing more than just gardening. Like I said, trying to build community. But with our community, we're also building joy in a time that's difficult to find it, which is a wonderful thing. But I find that when I walk the gardens and I talk to the plot tenders and I ask them, what are you planting and why are you planting this? And they're planting flowers and they're planting vegetables. Always the conversation comes back around to, well, I'm planting this because my grandfather planted that, or I'm planting this because my mom's mom always planted this and she taught me, and now I'm teaching my children. Or you learn about, people's culture, because they'll talk about that they're planting okra because their family, was from the South, and that's what they plant, and that's what they want to be able to eat, or collard greens or black-eyed peas or whatever. We have Korean people that plant vegetables I've never heard of, and then they talk to us about how to cook them and how to eat them. And so it's really a wonderful thing. Our seasons are divided up. We have a very structured season. I like to make sure that everything is set up way ahead of time. We just had a seed swap. Then we're going to have, just prior to opening our garden, we're going to have a gardening 101, where we have certified gardeners that Valerie probably knows, that are going to come and talk to the newbies about the importance of using certain things to start your garden, and the rules and regulations of our gardens. We keep a 3-foot wide aisle between our garden plots so that people can access the plots easily. We have rules about keeping weeds abreast, and those kinds of things. So they'll learn those all at the opening meeting. We also will have, after that, the seeds that were started, then we'll have a seedling swap, so people can switch off their plants, and not everybody has to grow, one thing. You can grow 50 things if you want to. The plots are big enough. We talk a lot about giving back to the community, and we have a food donation to the Cherry Hill Food Pantry. Last year, we gave over 550 pounds of produce to the food pantry, delivered it ourselves. At the end of the year, we have a wonderful banquet where we set up on the lawns of the farmstead house, and we set up beautiful tables, and we all bring potluck, supposedly from product that we grew in our gardens. Or maybe, you know, some people have had a bad year for one reason or another, and I suggest that those people go to the store and buy what they would have grown if it had been different. But that's pretty much what we do at Barclay Farmstead. We have a waiting list. We have lots of people that turn over every year, but then we have a lot of people that stay year after year after year. So if you want to get on, you need to get on the waiting list. We also have a Facebook page. I started that myself during COVID so that people could communicate and create community in a very difficult time to have any community at all. So that's pretty much it. I welcome you all to come and visit us. It's a beautiful place to see, and it's a nice place to walk your dog or, you know, have a picnic. Thank you, Valerie, for inviting me.
Thank you for joining us. And, you know, some of these plot tenders have small farms. That's why it's incredible. You're a great example and a great role model for other community gardens. And you really, truly are building community. And that's amazing. That's really, really amazing. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay. So next we have, talking about farms, Farm CSA's community supported agriculture. Our programs where consumers purchase a share of the local farm's harvest, receiving a weekly or bi-weekly deliveries. Fernbrook Farms, Brian Kusser, hi Brian, joins us to tell us all about Chesterfield, that's in Burlington County, CSA has to offer to its subscribers. Welcome, Brian.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about our CSA and our farm and what we do. Here at Fernbrook Farms, we are a multifaceted farm, and one of the things we do is a CSA, Community Supported Agriculture. And for those that don't know the CSA model, typically what happens with the CSA is the consumers purchase their vegetables over the winter, and they're committing to the farmer, and then the farmer grows for their members. And so it's a model that popped up, I think, in the 80s, and really came from the idea that, you know, the traditional farmer's market idea is that the farmer grows the vegetables and they come to the farmer's market and they sell it. But the farmer takes a big risk in that. If there's pests or droughts or floods and they just don't have the produce, then they don't have the produce for the consumers. Or if the farmer's market weekend is rainy weekends, 3 weekends in a row, the consumers just don't come out to the farmer's market. And so the farmer takes a big risk that way. And so this way, the consumer is taking the risk with the farmer, and they're saying, we commit to you, and that way we know that you'll be back next year. It also helps for planning for farmers, because you know what your membership is going to be. And so a lot of CSAs will have a certain amount of memberships that they're trying to grow for, whatever that number might be. Some are small CSAs that might have 25 members. Some are larger CSAs that might have 1,000 members. Our happy number is, you know, if we have 150 full share members and 150 10-week members, that's a nice number for us. And the way we grow our food is we are chemical free. We're not certified organic, as our head farmer likes to say. He'd rather be in the fields being organic than at a desk in his office being organic, because some of you may know that being organic requires a lot of paperwork. And so we advertise as chemical free, not as organic, because there's rules to advertising as organic. And so then once somebody joins our CSA, they get to come to the farm once a week and pick up their vegetables. And our CSA, we like to talk about choices a lot. And so with your choices, some CSAs will give you a box of food that you might pick up somewhere that's convenient for you, or it could be delivered to you. Our share, you come to our farm, and our food is displayed like a market style, and so you actually get to choose the tomatoes that you want or the watermelon that you want. It's not put in a box prepackaged for you. Also, with our choices, we have a 10-week share. And during that 10-week share, you can pick any 10 weeks that you want to come out of the 26-week member share. Also, we have a lot of you-pick options in our CSA share, and you can also walk the trails, visit the farm animals, and really have a full farm experience for our CSA experience. And in general, whether it's our CSA or another CSA, because I do encourage everybody to, find a CSA and try to join a CSA if you haven't already, is that, CSAs grow sustainably, which are a great way to preserve the land that they're growing on, because a lot of the industrial agricultural practices aren't as much of stewards of the land as CSAs are, because almost all CSAs are totally organic or very close to organic, and try to be organic as possible that way. And as said before in the name, community supported agriculture, the community is supporting the farmer. So it's another reason to join the CSA, and you're getting your food locally. As they say, most food in the United States travels over 2,000 miles from the farm to your plate. And so if you join a CSA, then it's not traveling that far if you're going to pick it up from the farm. A little more about Fernbrook Farms. I said we're a multifaceted farm. In addition to our CSA on our 230 acres of farm, we have a wholesale nursery, which is a tree farm. And we also have the Inn at Fernbrook Farms, which does weddings and events. And we have farm dinners that often happen through there. And so that's a great way where we bring our food from the CSA fields onto the tables with our chef, and have farm-to-table dinners. And then we also have an environmental education center that's a nonprofit organization on the farm, all about getting kids outside engaged with nature. And we do that through summer camp, homeschool classes, school field trips, after-school programs, and we have a nature preschool as well, all as ways to get kids outside engaged with nature. And then the last thing I'll mention is that in the first 3 weekends of May, we have a plant sale, or a plant tomato and herb sale. And we are growing currently in our greenhouse a whole bunch of tomato starts, over 60 varieties, a lot of herbs, peppers, and other vegetables. And then our wholesale nursery turns retail for those 3 weekends. And it's a fundraiser for the Education Center, which is a nonprofit. And so if you can make it up to Chesterfield, New Jersey, we'd love to have you. And that's a great way to get out onto the farm. And then you can also learn more about our CSA, or if you check out our website, and you can learn more about the CSA that way. And those that are close by, you can learn more, and maybe you'll become a member one day. And so that's
Great stuff, Brian. That's amazing. You have a lot going on there.
Yes, we do. And thanks for listening. And I know we're short on time, so I don't think we have a question and answer time frame. But thanks for listening, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Great work. Next, there's a lot of negative stuff in the news these days related to environmental issues. Well, there's actually a lot of good stuff happening too. Here to tell us about it is TCS Energy and Transportation Chair, Patrick McDevitt.
Thank you, Val. Great meeting tonight so far. I hope I can add to it. So first of all, we wanted to let you know that April besides being Earth Month, is also known nowadays as DEEM, Drive Electric for Earth Month. So we want to plug some EV events that are coming up in April. The first one we're going to be at is the Collingswood Green Festival on Saturday, April 12th. They'll have a lot of electric vehicles on display. And then as part of National Drive Electric for Earth Month, we will be hosting an EV showcase as part of the Burlington County Earth Fair at Smithfield Park on Sunday, April 27th. It'll be part of Burlington County's Earth Fair Festival, and it'll be a great day. So we would encourage you all to come out and see lots of different EVs that will be on displays. Also, if you have any events coming up in April or other months that you're interested in having some electric vehicles at, please get in touch and we can help you with that. And as Val mentioned, it's not all gloom and doom. We do have a couple quick good news items to share in the electric vehicle world. The first one is that according to the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, New Jersey's electric vehicle adoption is on the rise. So as of December 2024, there were 218,631 registered EVs in the state of New Jersey, and that is a 42% increase from 2023. So EVs now make up an impressive 13.5% of new car sales. So we're thrilled about that. Also, NEMA, the group that sets industry electrical standards, just published its EVSE power export permitting standard, which defines the technical parameters to allow EV owners to enable bidirectional charging, which allows electricity to flow to EVs one way and EVs to transfer their power back to the grid. So many models of electric cars have this capability, but the capability from our house wiring perspective has not been there. So we're really excited about that. So this is a huge win in terms of speeding up widespread adoption of bidirectional charging, which does have numerous economic and security benefits. And to Lauren's point earlier, with the rise in electric prices that are scheduled to come, we'll be able to possibly provide power back to the grid and earn money if you're an electric car owner and your car could do that. So that's great news. Also, coincidentally, Massachusetts is just running a vehicle to everything pilot. They are providing 100 free bidirectional charging units to actually test in real time and at real owners' homes how EVs can earn money by sending backup power to the grid. So we expect that it'll go far in helping us to balance out the grid when we know we've had some stressors around the electric grid lately. Also, the Electric Vehicle Association and Generation 180 have teamed up and are running a project called 10,000 EV Rides, where we'll be encouraging EV owners to just casually, invite their friends and family that might be skeptical to go for a ride in their EV. So it's just a way to expose the general public more to electric vehicles, and we're going to be participating in that. You'll see some news coming out about that. Also, the Electric Vehicle Association, which is a national group, we have a New Jersey state chapter. We are partnering up with Consumer Reports to focus on charging concerns. Again, just to ally some of the fears and questions folks might have about, long range driving and how do I fill up my car when I'm on a road trip, things like that. So you'll be seeing more about that. And in good news out of California, we've just heard that California now has 50% more electric vehicle chargers than they have gas pumps. So we'll be sharing this information in the chat. If you want to get any more information, please get in touch with me. And we wanted to make sure you all knew that there are some active electric vehicle groups here in New Jersey and nearby. The main one is the New Jersey Electric Vehicle Association, which lobbies for electrical vehicle, things around the state. We have the South Jersey Electric Vehicle Club, which is a Facebook group-based club that just spreads good news about EVs. We have the Delaware Valley Tesla Owners Group that, of course, is focused on Teslas. And, of course, in Philadelphia, there's the Philly EV Club on Facebook. So we encourage you to check them out. And again, if you have any questions about EVs, please get in touch with us. And I think that's the news for now. Back to you, Val.
Wow. Whew. That's a mouthful. That's amazing. A lot of great stuff. And, glad to hear that, EVs are still, plowing forward. So that's a good thing. Just a quick, I just want to update everyone on some things happening at Camden County Office of Sustainability. The Camden County Certified Gardeners are having their annual plant sale on Saturday, April 26th, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Kind of like, a lot like Chesterfield's. We're growing. We literally, I think this year we're gonna have like 20,000 plants. The greenhouse is bulging. The sides are gonna bust because of all the plants, which is amazing. We have tomatoes, we have peppers, things that you really like Chesterfield, like Fernbrook, you won't find at your local nurseries. And all of our peppers will be actually displayed out on the Scoville scale. We also have annuals, we have perennials, we have herbs, just a ton of plants, and you can see they're all, it's crazy how much is going on in there right now. They're certified gardeners have been working in the greenhouse since January, starting to, get these plants all ready for the plant sale. And it's really, really exciting. The other thing I just wanted to mention too is the Camden County Seed Saving Library. It's completely free. We're giving out free seeds. I'd say go on to camdencounty.com and search seed saving and put in for your free seeds. They are going quick. We were just processing a bunch of the gardeners. We were processing, I don't know, over 100 orders so far. So our goal is to give out to the seeds. You can grow your plants, and then in the fall we're going to teach you. We'll have Seed Saving 101, teach you how to save the seeds, and to keep the process going. Our goal also is we had a meeting in the fall, and about 2 months ago, and I want to have another one. I've been crazy busy with the seed saving with the community gardens and have them factor into it. And like Steph was saying, so you may have some certain ethnic vegetables that you can't maybe get somewhere, that we will also have those seeds to share, and maybe have community gardens participate in the seed saving as well. What else we have? And there's a lot of the things that the Camden County Certified Gardeners are doing, a lot of make and takes, and we're continuing education. So, keep viewing the Camden County newsletter, and that will keep you up to date on all the amazing things happening. You can see from the video, it's a lot. That's a lot that's going on in there. So the next thing I want to go on, if anyone, here we are at 8:17, we have a few minutes. If anyone wants to take 1 minute and to share any updates or news that they would like to share with the group, you're welcome to say a few words. Anyone interested?
I want all the plants.
Yes, we are going to be giving somebody after to the community gardens to share. We definitely will be doing that. A lot of plants, right, huh, Jackie?
Yeah, I was like, our greenhouse is full too, so it's like I get what you're doing. I was like, but excellent work. Just
thanks. Anyone have anything to share? No? Well, okay, we'll end a few minutes early.
Val, I'm sorry, real quick. I think Jeremiah had his hand up.
Oh,
Well,
I'm sorry.
I actually have
apologize,
a couple
Jeremiah.
things. Yeah, so I will be at the Collingswood Green Day Festival. I'll be doing the recycling, the survey thing. By then I'll also have the I'm trying to work to get it on the Google Docs, so and have different things for different counties and stuff like that, and have a conditional. So that's kind of I've been trying to on and off with that. We're also going to have a meeting on the 15th with some of the results with that. Valerie, also about what you mentioned, you said there's classes on some of the, like, as far as the seed saving and stuff like that. So I want to know about that. And what do you guys do in the winter? Like, I do have stuff that survived the winter, but most of my stuff did not. So I want to do better next winter.
So as far as the seed saving, we're looking to do it in the fall. So if we give out the free seeds now, and then early fall, we're gonna have a seed saving 101 to teach you how to save those seeds. We don't have it scheduled yet. I will keep you posted. But that's something that we're really looking forward to, continuing the education. That's really what it's about. So I'll keep you posted.
Heidi has her hand up.
Yep.
Hi, sorry, while I'm wrestling a baby over here. I just posted in the chat that Pinelands Preservation Alliance, we just released our annual State of the Pinelands report, and we're doing a webinar series this year, with the first one being on Wednesday, April 2nd. It'll be lunchtime, noon. So check it out. We'll be exploring, doing like history and science of each of the themes of our work. Oh yeah. Yeah, he's so excited about this. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Thank
That's
you,
awesome.
Heidi.
That's great. Anyone else have anything to share? No?
Going once.
No. Well, thanks everyone for a great conversation. Thanks again for all our speakers this evening. We're going to have to stop there, and we're going to end at a scheduled time. We're actually a little bit early. So thanks for all our guests, and don't forget to join us on TCS Discord. A lot of information there and ways to connect with others. This meeting is being recorded and it will be posted on the TCS YouTube channel tomorrow. Thanks everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Happy Earth Month.
Bye.